The weather is always changing. The roads, they're getting longer. The hunts, they're getting harder. But this is what we do. This is my team, and this is the flight. Flight TV was also brought to you by Falling Feathers Game Calls, Spectra Shot, Mike Reynolds Incorporated, A&B Lanyards, Kaminsky Development, The DeWitt Company, Big Buck Creations, Wildlife Taxidermy, Four Corners Development, Native Performance Dog Food, and by Lacrosse. Alright, so we finish up in northern Missouri and we're headed back home down in southeast Missouri, and the weather's been screwed up all year, but now it's perfect. The conditions are right. And we've called Brad down in southeast Missouri at that timber hole that we hunted earlier in the year. Well, this time, instead of there being about 20 to 30,000 ducks concentrated, there's over 100,000 ducks concentrated in the area.
You know, it's very rare that we have the opportunity to be able to take a sponsor out there hunting. But this year, we got to take Chuck Kaminsky.
He'd never been duck hunting before. He's been wanting to go. We tried to prepare him for what he was in store for, but I don't think we could have quite prepared him for what happened.
I mean, there is several trips, hunting trips wise, that I want to take around the world before I die. But one of those trips that I enjoy year after year is hitting that flooded timber and hunting them mallards. Chuck didn't realize that he was fixing to be able to enjoy something that not very many waterfowlers get to enjoy. Concentrated ducks in deep flooded timber. Dude, there's nothing like it. This portion of the Flight TV is brought to you by Native Performance Dog Food.
All right, heartworms have different stages to their life cycle. The first stage is called L1. L1 is the baby, okay? And the baby is circulating through the bloodstream in the dog, and it is sucked up by a mosquito. And the mosquito ingests L1, and inside the mosquito, the L1 molts and goes to L2. Well, L2 is what the mosquito injects into the dog, okay? And inside the dog, the L2 molts again and goes to L3, and then L3 goes to L4, and L4 goes to L5, which is the adult worm that lives in the heart, okay? So this process takes 6 months. By the time the mosquito ingests the baby heartworm, injects the L2 into the dog, and it molts through the 2 different stages to get to the adult, that's a 6-month process. And this adult worm is 10 inches long inside the right side of the dog's heart. The babies are microscopic. Now, your heartworm prevention really is a dewormer. What it does is it actually kills L2 and L3 that is in the muscle tissue. So the mosquito injects it through the skin. This L2 and L3 worms are migrating through the muscles to the bloodstream. What your heartworm pill can't get is the L4 and L5. So if we come along every 30 days and we deworm your dog with your heartworm prevention, we're killing this in the muscle stage before it makes it to the heart.
Man, what a great time I had hunting with these guys. I mean, straight professionals. My first time out, I am an amateur duck hunter. So the guys think I'm an amateur. I'm actually a born athlete. You know, I mean, might as well just call me Ricky Bobby.
We killed a bunch of ducks, and looking back on it now, and the excitement on Chuck's face, I mean, that's what this sport's all about. Bringing new people into it and getting them all fired up and hooked. I mean, that's what's going to keep this sport alive.
We stomped the ducks. I mean, they fell in there. We stuck those mojos out in the hole. And I'm going to tell you something. When you're hunting flooded timber, in my opinion, one of the most important things that you can have is motion wings. That was awesome right there.
Hey, sit down. Sit down.
There's your show. Go out there and get that. Guarantee he's got boobies on it. He's got boobies on it. Yeah, some boobies.
Hey, we come to retrieve this duck that Roy just shot with the Spectra load. Look what's floating in the water. Shit. This portion of the Flight TV is brought to you by the Amber Waves Range. www.amberwavesrange.com.
You know, a few years back, my brother introduced me to Brad Eddington with Big Buck Creations, and we all got to be really, really close friends. Not only does Brad have a phenomenal timber hole to go hunt in, but Brad is the best taxidermist that I've met.
You know, we were blessed this year for Brad to invite us out to his hole, his family hole in that timber. And we went several times, you're going to see throughout this season. But he's also a taxidermist. And as Roy said, I mean, it's not only important to take your animal, whether it be waterfowl, deer, turkey, elk, somewhere to have it mounted, but I want to be able to take it to a place that when they mount it, they put it and they're artistic with it. They put it in a position to where I remember it. Like when I was in that woods and I was in that boat or I was looking out of that blind, I remember that duck or I remember that goose or that deer or that turkey just like he made it look. And that's what Brad does. He's not just a taxidermist, he's an artist. And he wants to make your dreams come true, and I applaud him for it. Alright guys, it's late January, towards the end of the season, and we're on a special hunt today. I got a few of my best friends in the whole world, Chuck Kaminsky and Tim Newell, and we've got ducks all over us. The problem is, the wind is blowing so hard, we're having a hard time getting down in this timber hole. It's Chuck's first duck hunt, and he actually killed his first duck just a few minutes ago. So how this, goes through. I mean, these ducks are just having a hard time getting down the hole, so we're having to take a few shots that are right at tree line because, I mean, they're just fluttering. This segment of the Flight TV was brought to you by Pacific Flyway Supplies for all your waterfowl supply needs. Just go to www.pacificflywaysupplies.com.
Brought to you by Lacrosse Footwear. Over 115 years ago, we built our first boot and continue to perfect it because we believe the only way to gain respect is to earn it.
You know, the thing about Chuck is he's not only a huge developer in housing, but he's also got a band, and his band is incredible. I had the privilege this summer to go film one of their little segments that they put together, and they actually made a music video that went national. He's an awesome musician. He's got a heck of a voice. His band does good. But it's also cool to see the different lifestyles that people have outside of hunting. I mean, you don't have to be a television show host on the Pursuit Channel or any other channel for that matter in order to enjoy the outdoors. And I know it was his first trip with us. We had a great time with him. And I think if he told the truth about it, he had a great time with us. And that's what it takes to continue the sport that we call waterfowling.
Finished the hunt, we killed a bunch of ducks, and looking back on it now, and the excitement on Chuck's face, I mean, that's what this sport's all about. Bringing new people into it and getting them all fired up and hooked. I mean, that's what's going to keep this sport alive.
And Adam, what a straight professional this guy is. I mean, knows everything that there is about every kind of duck out there. You got Larry. I mean, this guy is hardcore, straight hardcore, jumping in the water. I mean, wading across, 100 yards, to get ducks and something that Slick couldn't find. Slick is the bird dog, and that dog is amazing. Roy, this guy, he's straight avid too.